Okay, calm down. You're looking at this massive sheet of paper and you're wondering, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? I am Bear, and I am going to help you with this. I have been studying music for a lot longer than a lot of you may realize. Over 5 years. This sheet of music is completely parsable to me. I'm gonna show you music theory in Yeeps in a short amount of time. Let's go. When you start looking at sheet music, it's gonna look a little bit like this. I know it looks like this, but it doesn't look like this right now because this is blank. This is a bunch of rails that I have formed into a loop that goes like this. This is a treble clef. These are our two types of clefs that we will be dealing with at the moment. There are more, but this will be it for now. This is a treble clef, this is a bass clef. I know it looks like it says 6-7. Just stop. Right here, there will be two numbers that say 4-4. They might say 6-8 or 12-8. This is your time signature. This dictates how many beats are in a bar. 4-4 is simple quadruple time because there's 4 of them in 4 crotchet beats in a bar. 3-4 is simple triple because there's 3 crotchet beats in a bar. 2-4 is simple duple time because there are 2 beats in a bar that are crotchets. 6-8 is compound quadruple time, but we will be ignoring it in this video. Right up here, there will be a little note, equal sign, 120. It says 120 for now, but it won't say BPM. No prizes for guessing what BPM stands for. That's right, beats per minute. This has 120 beats per minute, which sounds like this. Now if you notice, that was 2 beats a second exactly. If I change it to something like 170, it will sound more like this. As you can see, that's gotten a lot faster. These are the bars of music. This is where all the magic happens. Everywhere on here represents a different pitch. A note here will be higher than a note here. A note here will be lower than a note here. To make this very simple, these blocks will be crotchet beats. Here is a very simple melody, and it sounds like this. That's it. Each of these rows have different letter names. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You will likely hear the concept of middle C. Middle C would be all the way down here. But why is there a line through it? That's because this is called a ledger line. Since there's only 5 lines on the staff, if we want a pitch that is higher or lower than what our key signature gives us, then we must use ledger lines. Because if there's just nothing there, it's basically impossible to tell what note it is. But for now, I'm going to be ignoring ledger lines. This is going to be a crotchet. This is going to be a minim. This is going to be a semi-breve. If you're American and you know a tiny bit of music theory, you may be wondering, what the hell am I talking about? That's because in America, this is a semi-breve and it's called a whole note in America. This is called a half note in America, and this is called a quarter note in America. No prizes for guessing why it's called that, because this, a semi-breve, is 4 beats long, a minim is 2 beats long, a crotchet is 1 beat long. In fact, you can go even smaller. These are quavers, which is an 8th note in America. But for now, I will be ignoring them. If the time signature is 4-4, you have 4 crotchet beats in a bar. This is a semi-breve with 4 crotchet beats, meaning that this is it. This is a semi-breve on B. If you are having trouble remembering the letter names of the notes, just remember the lines go E, G, B, D, F, or every good boy deserves fruit. If you're having trouble remembering the letters of the spaces, it's F, A, C, E, or face. So this sounds like this, because it is a semi-breve, which is this note held for the whole bar. This is a bar line which separates into more bars. If you were a bit radical, you might want to add another crotchet onto here, but you can't do this because this is now 5 beats in a bar when the music is expecting 4 beats in a bar. You'd have to add an anacrusis if you wanted to do that. But since this is meant to be simple, we are leaving that out. Now here is something a little special. This is another note on B. Oh my god, what is this thing? This is going to be a stuffed landmine which we will be using to represent accidentals. I know it sounds like an accident, but it's very on purpose. This glowing white one will represent a sharp, a glowing red one will represent a flat, and a glowing green one will represent a natural. There are other accidentals, but we are not going to include them to keep this simple as possible. Pop quiz, which of these notes is included with the sharp? That's right, it is this one. This one is not affected by this sharp. Here are 2 minims each on C. This is a C. This is a C sharp. Now let's take a listen. I know it sounds different because this sharp made it go up 1 semitone. Now here's our flat. Let's have a listen. Yes, that's right. The flat made it go down 1 semitone. I'll get to semitones in a little bit if you're confused. Now let's hear the natural. Sounds the same. That's because the natural is only in use if there are other accidentals. Now let's hear this. I know, they're both sharpened, even though this one doesn't have a sharp. That's because accidentals continue over an entire bar. Now let's listen to this example. Now, this one is lower again because of the natural, which puts it back on C. Here is the scale of C major, done very simply. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, which sounds like this. Yes, it sounds like it starts and ends on the same note, just higher. This is called an octave. Probably because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 notes. Oct, and it's called C major because it sounds good and like happy and all that, yay. But here's the kicker. Key signatures! Right here on your sheet music, between the time signature and the clef, you might find a series of sharps and flats. These are normally on the bars, on the staff, but for this purpose I just haven't, and I'm stupid. This is a flat, meaning that for the entire piece of this music, this B will be flattened, but that's not necessarily true, but we're going to ignore that and assume for this explanation that the entire music, this B will be flattened. So now that the B is flattened, what scale are we moving to? F major. I know many of you may have said B major, but that's not true. That's because in a major scale, the intervals between the notes go tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. This will be a lot easier to explain on my piano, which you can see right here. A tone is like going from here to here because it goes up 2 notes. A semitone is like going up 1, so it goes tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Alright, now that you've seen that, let's go to F major. Here is our scale of F major. F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. It's very simple. Now what if our key signature was like this, where there's a sharp on the top line? That means we're moving to G major, that's right. This is the scale of G major because it starts on G. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This is G major. If you are making a melody, you want to pick a scale and stick with it. You are allowed to do accidentals to go outside of your scale, but don't do it much or it will sound really bad. It is difficult to make the chromatic scale work well. The chromatic scale is semitones all the way up to the root note again. Alright, you can look at the sheet music now and you'll hopefully be a little less confused. I hope this video really did help with you because I've been wanting to make it for a long time. Hopefully this will help you in your future Yeeps music contest submissions. My name is Bear. I've been studying music for 5 years or more. I can't remember when I actually started, and I love this video, to be honest. So yeah, bye bye. Mwah.